going on, everybody? Welcome back. So to another market update video here at Benefit Central. I'm Benjamin, and today Bitcoin and the S&P charts. But before I get right into the market, please leave a like, drop a comment, and if you could subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Everybody, the markets have been crazy and honestly have been blessing us for the past few days. What's been interesting is it's all been on inflation reports as well, and how everything's been going. Not necessarily the greatest news, however, we are getting bullish crosses on almost everything while we're approaching overbought, unfortunately. But that's honestly great, because then that means that we have to come back down, confirm the cross for support, and then continue forward. But as long as we can continue and confirm that this cross is bullish, which it is crossing that way, as long as we can continue up and not get rejected on any of our ascending or descending channels, realistically. It's the top of our descending channels that are going to attempt to push us back down, or we attempt to push bullish and break them. Which I'm expecting a bit of a rejection, just because we need to come back on our dailies. We're overbought on a lot of things right now, and we do have to, however, come back and at least, like I said, come and confirm the bullish cross, just because, like I said, we are overbought on most, and not even, it's almost everything we're overbought on, just because we had a massive pump throughout the past few days. Last week, and then recently we've been pumping too, as well as today. So honestly, before I get into the charts for S&P, I would like to tell you guys that I am going live a lot more. It should be 24/7, like I said in my most of my videos, that I am trying to catch crypto as much as possible, so you will catch me on there doing a lot more. However, jumping into the S&P 500 real quick, looking at the daily, you can tell that right now we are approaching our top of the channel realistically. And it's just really, we just need to see how today closes, like I was just saying. The S&P is overbought. We are approaching the 70 right now, which we have gone above the 70 in extreme overbought levels. But as of right now, just the way everything is going, realistically, I think that we should, if anything, this could be a failed break, and then you see us come back in. We've done this several times. However, I just would be cautious longing this at all, just because of how many times we've decided to bounce around here. And I'll show you guys here in the 4 hour. We've been here for a very long time, but however, we are getting this 4 hour RBI right here that looks pretty impressive, to be honest, but we are extremely overbought. So honestly, I don't know how much further this can continue, but we have an RBI on that line, so we should be seeing higher prices. That should not fail. We should see S&P close a bit higher on the 4 hour as well as hourly, probably forming another RBI right here, and then pinching probably to put us a bit higher as well, probably passing this 4100 level and into our bigger channel. On the weekly, I'll show you. Finally, with that RBI right here, we had two of them right next to each other, and then finally pushing and breaking this channel. On the other time frames, it doesn't look like we closed above it, but right here, it's just a bigger time scale, so it looks a bit different. However, I just wouldn't hop into it yet. Yes, we did close above it on the weekly. However, on the other time frames, we just haven't closed above it yet. And then right here, you can tell that we are getting great support from our indicators right now. However, it is, like I said, just we're getting in a bit of overbought territory, except for the weekly, we are midway, so that is great. Honestly, if we can continue this, we should see that this next full week pushes us up, and honestly, we should see us, since we did break out of it on the weekly, we should see higher prices, continue bullish for the S&P 500 at around prices of 4350, yeah, honestly, just right there. Any other prices realistically above that is overbought. Especially that we are midway right now and just attempting to break. So realistically, I do see some upside coming from the S&P, just because of how many bullish signals we got throughout this bottom right here. We had an RBI fail, but it was still there and present, so the bulls did try to push us out of that, and then we tried to, the bears tried to wick us down. We fought that, came through, made a doji, and the next one came through for support, pushed us back up, checked resistance, came through, didn't even want to go all the way back down, and we pushed all the way back up. So that is pretty good, and we just have to continue to see this closing. Checking out the monthly for you guys just real quick. We did get that new monthly that did open finally. Today is the 1st of August, and so we should see highest prices until we get fairly bullish. Of course, breaking out of this channel here, but until then, it could be a monthly bull 180. This could have very well been the bottom for the markets right now. I would have liked to see the wicks at least match. However, that didn't happen. I do like that we did get a high, excuse me, a higher low for the last month. So that is great. That means that bullish momentum is kicking in. However, as long as we can get that, we didn't get that close. Excuse me, we didn't get that bullish 180 close. But however, we did get fairly close. So that is actually very beneficial to us. We probably didn't get that just because of the top of that descending channel. So realistically, it's up to this month to see where we go. But like I said, we will see the highs of 4,200 to the max of, I'd say, yeah, like 4,260 max. I like to put my line a little bit lower, so it's around 4,250 to 4,230, 40. But realistically, if you're playing the candles in wicks, you would be getting in right now for the monthly for anticipating a bull 180, and you would take partial profits right here, and then your TP would be here at 4,300 for the rest of your remaining trade, and that you should get out in for a breather, see where we close, and that next month should close above that red indicator, and then us bouncing on that red indicator to push us further. Unless this one decides to close as a pivot, which most likely can. It just realistically decides what kind of pattern we get out of this. But this is looking pretty well, honestly. Just as long as we don't get a bare 180 and it swallows this whole candle and pushes us all the way back down. The only way to try to prepare for that would be right here. If it breaks this, then of course we are going to continue bearish, just because that is TP1 for the bears, finally breaking that 180. It'd be TP1 and then TP2 right there, and then of course breaking TP2, you would be seeing that we would touch our indicators down here at around 3,500, and if broken, then we'd end up curving further. But however, I don't see that right now. It's all, like I said, just about reading the graph and what the graph presents to you and shows you. However, jumping into what's been really moving, besides the S&P and the stock market, Bitcoin is trying to jump with our new monthly as well. We are starting red, which I like to see, just because we should be getting some support, which is healthy, honestly, in the dailies, just because we are a bit overbought. So if we do come and test this, it's around 22,000, 21,900 of our indicator, and which is perfect because we're above it. We could get a close above it and not form a GBI, another leg down. That would be fantastic, and then we'll continue bullish and out of this descending channel. However, jumping into the, sorry about that, guys. Jumping into the bigger time frames or smaller time frames. I'll show you guys the daily just real quick. Skip past the weekly for now, but I was anticipating us to push past this just because of how this was closing. However, we did end up getting that close right here, and I did hop out of this trade just because of the close below it, and then we, of course, continued back down. This was the cross that I was talking about from the S&P. However, you see that Bitcoin is doing it a bit more successfully. So I do anticipate some movement from the S&P just like this, just to get this full cross going, and making prices, eventually get the RSI to breathe on the daily, and then getting prices to go back up, creating a higher low, which would be fantastic for the markets and crypto markets as well. However, we just realistically need to see how this plays out. This can very well form a pivot right now and continue to go up. However, I don't really see that happening too much. Do believe that we're going to come down and consolidate around 22,000 just a little bit for right now. But other than that, I will show you guys the weekly just for real quick, just since we started a new one, and we are already bouncing off of our 200 EMA, excuse me. And we finally are finding that bullish momentum as long as we can continue upward from our RBIs and successful close above, as well as that wick down. We didn't continue bearish momentum. We closed above our 200 EMA, so that was great. And honestly, now we just need to continue that momentum. You can anticipate a buy-in at around 23,300. Is that my line? No, my line is 23,772. Just the top of that last wick, just to continue and confirm bullish momentum, so that you can see the rest of the prices around 24,000, 24,500. But other than that, we still, like I said, we are in this descending channel, and we do need to break out of it. I believe that we've tried to wick out of it once, and that's why my line is like the way it is right now, just because we really aren't confirmed out of it just yet, and as well as we have our indicators fairly coming in close. So we should see a bit of rejection, or at least a halt holding us below certain levels. So if you really want to look at the graph just a bit in more detail, realistically, since we broke bullish out of that pattern, that ascending triangle below our supports of 24,000, since we are breaking bullish now, we should see prices end up, TP would be 27,000, like I said in most of my videos. However, the more days that pass, the lower this indicator gets, the closer it gets, and it lowers our prices for the rejection. However, closing above the indicator will indicate that we are trying to push past our indicators and trying to get that bullish momentum back in. Rejecting off of them will show us that we are trying to go lower. However, on our weekly, we are oversold, so I'm not too really scared about that. I believe that really we went down to test our 200, and we are going to continue bullish further for the weekly. However, we just need our dailies to reset, and that's what I'm talking about. Is we are fairly overbought on our dailies. Coming back to test our cross right here should continue to push us around 22,000. Continue to push us bullish. However, jumping in for you guys right now for, where did I put you? Ethereum. Right now we do have that same GBI for our daily that I'm not liking. However, it's totally fine. You could have shorted this if you wanted to. I said short it below 1700. However, be cautious just because 1665 was our range. From 1665 to our 1780 was our big support and then high of resistance. However, our consolidation was fairly around 1700 that we were fighting for. Excuse me, that we were fighting for support. However, I do see and anticipate prices for Ethereum. We do have several hours before the next daily close and open, so 1500 for Ethereum if we do continue to come back down. However, if the bulls continue to fight this and keep us above like we had the last channel before we broke down to touch our indicator, kept us consolidated before we touched our indicator, before we popped again, well, this could easily happen again, just because we, like I said, confirmed our bullish cross. So it's realistically just up to the charts on how they want to push this. With this new weekly, it's the same thing. Finally bullish momentum, finally attempting to close momentum above here. However, our indicators are approaching. Since we broke bullish above our necklines, TP would have been here, but since we continued, next TP would have been here, and that's around 1800, which we have yet to come across. I believe it was 1780 that was our highest right there, 1780.35. And the next TP breaking that would have been 1920, and then as well as our indicator popping up, so around 2000. So that is honestly looking pretty fair, to be honest with me, for Ethereum, as long as we can consolidate and then eventually squeeze back up above our indicators, avoiding this bearish cross. I'm not really liking that too much. However, we still are in that descending channel as well. So really looking for a close above that. However, jumping into XRP, pretty sure everyone was shocked about this. However, I did get in on this just a little bit, not too heavy, just because of how it was going throughout how it was consolidating and ranging throughout the days and weeks. However, we did get that confirmed, push above, and then finally getting into our new range zone like I had our box right here. However, we didn't like that too much, and around our midway, halfway, we rejected around 40 cents, which I said as well. Coming back down to retest for support, 37 cents. Turning this into support will be great. If we could get a new daily here, we might wick down and touch our indicators, however close above it and then probably push forward, showing that 37 cents is a great buy-in for the cryptos right now, just because we have momentum. However, our 200 EMA is still above us, so we do need to go back and touch that and try to get above it, just because we've pulled away from it for so long, creating a bow and shooting us towards it. So honestly, it's looking great for cryptos, looking great for the markets right now. What a great flip that we've had. I'm hoping that August or July's report for when we get it in the end of August will be lower as well, and hopefully that'll push us to continue higher for the markets. However, I believe that was all that I had for you guys today, just a quick market update video for you guys. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.